I've shown you a lot of tips. Now I'm going to show you a trick that I use. So a lot of you guys have seen these reining horses that'll walk to the middle of the arena and they stop and drop their head and look real cool and quiet and they're ready to go and focused. There's a lot that goes into that. You know, some horses are just more mentally disciplined or more focused than others, but typically there's somebody's put a lot of effort into it. You know, whether it be if a horse starts to, you start to lose their attention, you start making their feet move and going about it that way and showing them that when they get distracted, like how Blondie is right here, that something happens, that you have to move their feet. But also you can work on, and not every horse will let you do it, but you can start teaching them cues or signal, almost like, you know, teaching a dog to lay down or teaching a horse to lay down, to bow, all that sort of thing. This is not something I spend a ton of time on. This is something that I'll typically do when a horse is a little tired, also when they're a little further in their training. To begin this, and I chose her because she has no clue. I've never done this to her. Matter of fact, she's here chewing on my rein right now. She has no clue what I'm about to do, so I thought this would be a great one to try to show you on. So what I do, I think about how would I like her to respond when I go in the show ring. Well, I would like to not have to move my hand. So I'm going to start my cue off by first pushing on her withers, holding the reins. If she doesn't drop her head, oh wow, she's magically kind of doing. Now that, I can't believe that just happened. I think that was just pure accident. But I'll push on her withers. If she doesn't drop her head, I'm going to lift my hand to about the height of the saddle horn. That's kind of the second cue. If she doesn't drop her head, then I'm going to go ahead and softly seesaw on her face till she drops her neck. If she drops her neck even a couple inches right now, I'm going to go ahead and release because she has no idea what I'm after, okay? So again, put pressure on her neck. That's her first signal. She kind of moved a little bit actually. Pick up with my hand, the height of the saddle horn. Okay, now that's not a real response. She's just trying to grab the rein. Then if she doesn't listen, go ahead and seesaw, put a little pressure on her face till her pole starts to drop. As soon as it does, release everything. So in the beginning, you might only get an inch. Then you've got to just try to keep working your way into it. If your horse is super fresh, this is not a realistic trick to try to put on your horse. Do it when they're a little tired. Push on her neck, lift up. She actually flicked an ear on me that time. Drop her head a little, release. Push on her neck, lift up, little seesaw, and release. Do it again, push. That's her first chance, there's her second chance, and then she gets the pressure. And then release. This is going to be a game of persistency and repetition here. Don't worry about trying to get them super soft and chin on their chest. This is just a little trick that we want to get their necks dropped down. And then more importantly to me, if I use that signal on them in the show ring and they drop their head, that tells me they're paying attention. It also tells me if I walk out there, and I've had this happen many times, I go push on their withers and nothing happens and they usually do respond, that's when I know, okay, Houston, I got a problem. My horse isn't listening. So I got my hand resting on the pad, push it on her withers. She kind of flicked an ear, so she knows something's going to happen. Drop your head, release. Push, lift up, release. Push, pick up. In the beginning, this is going to feel like it's futile. You're like, man, this is never going to work. Push on her withers, lift up, drop her head, release. Push, pick up, push, pick up, drop your pole, release. Push, push, pick up, release. You guys can definitely see a change. This little trick or button's not working exactly perfectly, but she's never had this before. I swear to you, this is her first day of this. Push. This is just, again, something you're sitting around the horse show, your horse is a little tired, or it just drives you nuts because your horse stands in the middle of the arena like a cobra. Maybe you can make it 50% better. I've had some horses that are just so good and they just go out and they just, they follow that button, every single time. And I've had some that didn't and that, it still worked out okay. Ooh, push again. See her drop. So I gave her a little extra time to figure that out. She dropped that neck and I think that was real. So since she responded to the first cue, she doesn't get the second one of raising my hand here, and she dang sure doesn't get the pull. Try again, push, pick up, drop your pole, release. And bite my rein. Push, pick up, release. Push, pick up, release. There's my spot right there. I'm gonna quit, thank God. But you guys saw right there, I don't know how long that was or how many repetitions it was, but we took Blondie here and taught her, and again, that's a trick right there. Pushing my finger that she drops her head. It gives it a, that gives you that real classic focused look for the judges when you walk in the show ring. It looks like, man, that rider's prepared, that horse is focused, ready to go. And then more importantly though, it's a cue you're giving your horse before you ever start asking for any maneuvers, and you know right away that either A, your horse is listening, or B, your horse is not listening, and maybe you need to do a little, whatever it is, a little bridle or positioning to try to get that horse's focus back on you. There's a little trick for you. Don't share that with all your friends. Keep that to yourself. So next time you go out in the horse, go out in the show pen, you walk out to the middle of that arena, pushing that horse's neck, and they drop that head on the ground and ready to rock and roll. Could be the difference between a +1/2 and a 0. Could be the difference between a +1 and a +1/2. Just a little extra style. So there you go. Take your time. Keep working on that horse and watch that head go down.
Are you looking to step your game up? Perfect. All you have to do is go to mattmillsreining.com. It's only $24.95 a month. Sign up today, because the key to success is knowing.